She came home at 4 a.m. with a guy's number on her hand. I asked for an explanation. She snapped, "I don't owe you anything. Trust me or leave." I just smiled. The next morning, I put up a "leaving my cheater" sale outside our house and sold all her designer stuff for bargain prices. Her reaction when she came home and saw half the neighborhood walking away with her stuff? So here's the thing about dating someone for 3 years who's really into designer brands but makes half what you do. Eventually, all her expensive stuff ends up at your place. Not because you bought it for her, I'm not an idiot, but because your place is nicer, bigger, and doesn't have a roommate who borrows things. I'm Alex, 32, software engineer, make about $110,000 a year. Own a 3-bedroom house in a decent suburb. Bought it 2 years ago. My name on the deed. My mortgage. My house. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now, but we'll get there. Her name's Ariana. 29. Works in marketing at a mid-size agency. Makes around $58,000. Lived in a small apartment with a roommate named Crystal who had a habit of accidentally taking Ariana's stuff. After about 6 months of dating, Ariana started keeping clothes at my place. Then shoes. Then her entire closet, apparently. Then her makeup collection that required its own dedicated bathroom drawer system. Then her designer handbags that needed to be stored properly away from sunlight and humidity. Crystal keeps borrowing my Gucci bag without asking, she'd say. "Can I keep it here?" "Sure, why not?" I had the space. My YSL heels got scuffed because Crystal wore them to a club. "Can I keep my shoes here?" "Fine, there's a spare bedroom." Fast forward 2 years. Ariana essentially lived at my place, paid 0 rent, contributed sometimes to groceries, kept all her expensive stuff in my spare bedroom, which had become her personal closet storage unit. We're talking thousands of dollars in designer bags, shoes, clothes, jewelry. Did I buy any of it? No, she bought it all herself. Financed most of it, actually, which should have been red flag number 1. But she made her own money, made her own choices, and I didn't care how she spent it. Should have paid more attention to where she was spending her time instead. Friday night, I'm home working late. Got a deployment at midnight. Ariana had gone out with the girls from work around 8 p.m. She'd been doing that a lot lately. Every Friday, sometimes Thursdays. I didn't think much of it. I trusted her. Mistake number 1. Midnight rolls around. My deployment goes smoothly. I'm done by 12:30 a.m. Ariana's not home. I text her. No response. 1 a.m. Nothing. 2 a.m. I call. Goes to voicemail. 3 a.m. I'm not worried. I'm annoyed. We live together. Well, she lives in my house. She should at least let me know she's staying out late. 4 a.m. I hear a car pull up. Door opens. Ariana stumbles in. Not falling down drunk, but definitely been drinking. Her makeup is smudged. Her hair is a mess. She's wearing that fake happy expression people get when they're drunk and trying to seem sober. "Hey babe, sorry I'm so late. We had so much fun. Jessica got promoted, and we were celebrating, and what's that on your hand?" She looks down. On her left hand, written in blue pen, is a phone number. Just digits. No name, just a number. "Oh," she tries to wipe it off. Smudges the ink. "That's nothing. That's a phone number. Some guy wrote it. I told him I had a boyfriend. I didn't even want it. So you let him write his number on your hand anyway?" I was drunk. He was persistent. "It doesn't mean anything." I just stare at her. I'm a software engineer. I'm logical. I'm methodical. And my bullshit detector is going off like crazy. "Ariana, you've been out until 4 a.m. You have another man's phone number written on your hand. I think I deserve an explanation." The fake happy expression drops. Her face hardens. "I don't owe you anything. Trust me or leave." Silence. "Excuse me?" "You heard me. Either you trust me or you leave. I'm not gonna stand here and be interrogated in my own home." Her own home. My house. My mortgage. My deed. "This isn't your home," I say calmly. "This is my house. You just keep your stuff here." Semantics. The point is, I don't owe you an explanation. I went out. A guy hit on me. I turned him down. End of story. If you can't trust me, then maybe we shouldn't be together. Classic manipulation. Turn it around. Make me the bad guy for asking questions. I smiled. "You're right." "I'm what?" "You're right. If I can't trust you, we shouldn't be together." "I didn't mean, I meant you should just trust me and—" "No, I get it. We shouldn't be together. We're done." Her face went through several emotions. Confusion, anger, disbelief. "You're breaking up with me? Over nothing?" Over you coming home at 4 a.m. with another man's phone number and refusing to explain it. Yeah. This is insane. You're insane. Maybe, but this is my house and we're done. You should leave. It's 4 a.m. Uber exists. I'm not leaving. This is ridiculous. We'll talk about this tomorrow when you've calmed down. She stormed off to the bedroom. I heard the door slam. I sat on my couch, thought about my options. She just told me we were done. Her exact words were, maybe we shouldn't be together. She'd lived here, but never paid rent. Never had her name on anything. This was my house. And she just abandoned our relationship over a phone number she refused to explain. I pulled out my laptop, started researching property abandonment laws in my state. Turns out, when someone stores property at your residence and the relationship ends, and they refuse to remove it after being asked, it's considered abandoned after a certain period. In my state, that period is 30 days with written notice. But there's a gray area. If someone explicitly ends a relationship and leaves the premises, the property abandonment clock starts immediately, especially if they've never paid rent and aren't on the lease. I drafted an email, sent it to Ariana at 4:47 a.m. Ariana, as discussed, our relationship is over. You stated we shouldn't be together, and I agree. Please remove your belongings from my house within 24 hours. Any items not removed will be considered abandoned property and disposed of accordingly. Alex, I heard the email notification ping in the bedroom, heard her phone buzz, heard nothing after that. At 6 a.m., I heard her alarm, heard her moving around. She came out dressed for a run. She did that sometimes on Saturday mornings. Ran with her friend Melissa. I'm going for a run. We're talking when I get back. Did you get my email? I'm not reading your emails. We'll talk when I get back like adults. She left. I looked at the clock. 6:15 a.m. I looked at the spare bedroom full of designer merchandise. I looked at my garage full of folding tables. I made a decision. By 7 a.m. I had 6 folding tables set up in my driveway. Had to borrow 2 from my neighbor Bob after explaining the situation. He thought it was hilarious and offered to help. You're really doing this? Bob asked, carrying over a table. Yep. She's gonna lose her mind. That's the idea. By 7:30 I had everything organized, clothes sorted by type, shoes lined up by size, bags displayed prominently, jewelry in little baskets. It looked like a department store clearance section exploded in my driveway. Bob stood back and surveyed it. How much is all this worth? She claimed it was around $15,000 total. Jesus, and you're selling it for? I started making price tags. $50 here, $100 there, $75 for that. You're selling a $2,000 bag for $100? Yep, you're my hero. By 8 a.m. I had made signs. Bob helped me with those too. His handwriting was better than mine. Moving sale, everything must go. Designer items, huge discounts. Gucci $50, Louis Vuitton $100, YSL $75, all sales final. And then I made my masterpiece. Grabbed a huge piece of poster board, wrote in big letters, leaving my cheater sale. She came home at 4 a.m. with another guy's number on her hand. I asked for an explanation. She said, I don't owe you anything. Now her stuff doesn't live here either. Price is negotiable, cash only. Bob read it, started laughing so hard he had to sit down on my porch steps. You're putting that out front? Absolutely. This is the greatest thing I've ever witnessed. I put it front and center. Right at the end of my driveway where everyone driving by could see it. At 8:15 a.m. my neighbor Carol walked by with her dog. Stopped, stared, read the sign. Her jaw dropped. Alex, is everything okay? Everything's great, Carol. Just getting rid of some stuff. How's Mr. Fluffkins? Her dog sniffed one of the handbags. She pulled him back, still staring at the sign. So she at 4 a.m.? Yep. With another man's number? Written on her hand, yeah. And she told you she didn't owe you an explanation? Her exact words were, I don't owe you anything. Trust me or leave. Carol's face went through several expressions. Shock, sympathy, then curiosity. She looked at the designer bags. Is that a real Prada? Yep, $80. $80 for a Prada bag? Yep. The real one? Not a knockoff? Ariana doesn't do knockoffs. Everything here is authentic. Carol's hand was already reaching for her purse. I'll take it. And? Is that Gucci? Which one? All of them. She bought 3 bags, walked away with them under her arms, Mr. Fluffkins trotting beside her, looking very confused about why his walk had turned into a shopping spree. By 8:30, word had spread. I don't know how. Maybe Carol called someone, maybe someone drove past and saw the sign, but suddenly there were cars pulling up, people walking over from other streets. A woman in a yoga outfit power walked over. I saw your sign from 2 blocks away. Is this real? Yep, she read the poster board. Oh my God, she really came home at 4 a.m.? Yep, with another man's number? On her hand in blue pen. What a bitch, is that a Michael Kors watch? Yeah, $60. Sold. She bought the watch and 2 pairs of sunglasses. My book club is going to die when I tell them about this. By 9 a.m. I had a legitimate crowd, like Black Friday crowd, 20+ people swarming the tables. Everyone asking questions, everyone taking photos of the sign. I heard someone say I'm posting this on Facebook and made a mental note that this was about to get much bigger. Are these real? Yep. Why so cheap? I pointed to the sign. They'd read it. Their eyes would widen. They'd look at me, look at the stuff, look back at me. So your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, as of about 4 hours ago. And this is all her stuff? Was her stuff. She abandoned it when she ended our relationship at 4 a.m. this morning after coming home with another man's phone number written on her hand. You could see them doing the mental math. Is this legal? Is this ethical? Is this real? Then they'd look at a $2,000 bag with an $80 price tag and decide ethics could wait. Sales were brisk. Mrs. Henderson from 3 houses down bought 4 pairs of designer heels. My daughter's getting married. These will be perfect. Bob from across the street bought a Burberry trench coat for his wife's birthday. This is like $1,500 in stores, right? Probably more. You're selling it for $100? Yup, sold. The teenage girl from 2 doors down bought 6 dresses. These are my size. Are you sure about these prices? Positive. This is the best day ever. Around 9:30, I sold a Louis Vuitton purse to a woman who looked familiar. Ariana's coworker, Jessica, the one who allegedly got promoted. These are Ariana's things, Jessica said carefully. Were Ariana's things. She abandoned them here. Does she know you're selling them? She knows. She was asked to remove her property. She chose to go running instead. Jessica bought the purse and 3 scarves. She's gonna be so mad. Probably. By 10 a.m., I'd made $3,400. I was running out of inventory. People were disappointed. Do you have any more bags? Nope, just sold the last one. What about shoes? Got a few pairs left, size 7. They sold in minutes. At 10:30 a.m. I heard tires screech. Not just a stop, a full movie-style screech. Ariana's white Honda Civic came flying down the street and slammed to a stop in front of my house. She burst out of the driver's side door, still in her running clothes, neon pink sports bra and black leggings, face bright red, hair in a messy ponytail. She had her phone in one hand. Someone had clearly called her. She looked at the driveway, at the tables, at the crowd of about 15 people browsing through what was left, at the signs, at the big poster board explaining exactly why this sale existed. Her face went from red to purple. What the fuck did you do? Every single person stopped browsing, stopped talking, stopped moving. You could have heard a pin drop. Then everyone's phone came out. People started recording. Morning, Ariana. How was your run? Where is my stuff? I gestured around the driveway, at the tables that were now mostly empty, at the few remaining items. Most of it's gone. People really liked it. You sold my stuff? I sold abandoned property that was left at my house after you ended our relationship. I didn't end anything. You broke up with me. You said, and I quote, I don't owe you anything, trust me or leave. And then you said maybe we shouldn't be together. I agreed. You left. That's a breakup. From your end. That's not what I meant. That's what you said. Where's my Gucci bag? Which one? My black Gucci bag. Oh, Carol from down the street bought that. She really loved it. Carol? Yeah, she walked by with Mr. Fluffkins. Nice lady, paid cash. Ariana looked like she might actually combust. Where's my Louis Vuitton? Had 3 of those, all sold. One went to Mrs. Henderson, one went to the yoga lady, one went to, actually I don't know her name, blonde woman. Very enthusiastic. My Prada shoes? Mrs. Henderson bought 4 pairs, said her daughter's getting married and they were perfect. Mrs. Henderson? Ariana spun around, looking down the street like she might sprint to Mrs. Henderson's house right now. She lives 3 houses down. She knows me. She did mention that. Still bought the shoes, said they were a great deal. A woman in the remaining crowd raised her hand, like she was in class. "Excuse me, are you Ariana?" Ariana whipped around. "Who's asking?" "I'm Sarah. I bought your red dress, the one with the tags still on. Just wanted to say thanks. I'm wearing it to a wedding next month." Ariana's eye actually twitched. "You bought my dress?" "Yeah, $40. It still had the $400 price tag on it. What a steal." "That's because I never got to wear it." "Well, I'm gonna wear it now. Thanks again." Sarah walked away happily holding her shopping bag. Ariana looked like she was going to have an aneurysm. "I'm calling the police." "Go ahead. Want to use my phone?" "No, I don't want to use your phone." She pulled out her own phone, fumbled with it. Her hands were shaking. She dialed 911. The remaining crowd was fully invested now. One woman was live streaming. I heard her whispering into her phone. And now she's calling the police. This is crazy. 911, what's your emergency? My boyfriend stole all my stuff and is selling it in his driveway. I could hear the dispatcher's confused voice through the phone. "Ma'am, slow down. Your boyfriend is selling your property?" "Yes, without my permission. Thousands of dollars of stuff." "Are you at the location now?" "Yes." "Is he threatening you?" "No, he's just standing there smiling." I was in fact smiling. This was better than I could have imagined. "Ma'am, this sounds like a civil issue, not a criminal one. If it's a dispute over property after a breakup, it's not a breakup. We're still together." The dispatcher paused. "Is he your boyfriend or not?" "We?" Ariana looked at me, then at the crowd, then at her phone. "Send someone." She hung up, glared at me. "The cops are coming." "Great, I'll show them the email I sent you at 4:47 a.m. giving you 24 hours to retrieve your abandoned property, and your text saying, 'Maybe we shouldn't be together,' and my state statute on property abandonment, and all my receipts." Her face was doing that thing where you can tell someone's brain is working overtime, trying to find a way out of a situation they know they can't win. Mrs. Henderson walked by at that exact moment. Perfect timing. She was carrying 2 large shopping bags, clearly full of shoes. When she saw Ariana, she actually smiled and waved. "Ariana, sweetie, I didn't know you were moving." Ariana's head turned so fast, I'm surprised she didn't get whiplash. "Mrs. Henderson?" "Yes, dear. I just wanted to say thank you for the shoes. They're absolutely perfect for my daughter's wedding and such a good price. Alex said you were getting rid of everything." "Those are my shoes." Mrs. Henderson's smile dimmed a little. "Well, yes, they were your shoes. Now they're my shoes. I bought them. You didn't buy them from me. I bought them from Alex. He said you ended the relationship and abandoned the property." "That's legal, dear. My son's a lawyer. I called him before I purchased anything, just to be safe. He said as long as Alex gave you written notice to remove your property and you didn't respond, it's considered abandoned. Very clear legally." "He didn't give me notice." "Oh, he showed me the email, sent at 4:47 a.m. That's quite specific. Also showed me your text saying, 'Maybe we shouldn't be together.' That's relationship termination, according to my son." Ariana looked like she was going to cry or scream or both. "You knew me. You've known me for 2 years. And you bought my shoes?" Mrs. Henderson's expression turned cold. Real cold. Suburban mom cold, which is its own special kind of terrifying. "Yes, I bought your shoes. Because you came home at 4 a.m. with another man's phone number on your hand and told your boyfriend he had to trust you or leave. That's cheating, dear. Cheaters don't get sympathy from me. But they apparently have lovely taste in footwear. These Jimmy Choos are gorgeous." She walked away. Ariana stood there with her mouth open. "Those were $800 shoes," she yelled after Mrs. Henderson. "I paid $75. Mrs. Henderson called back cheerfully. "What a bargain. You can't do this." "Already did it. I'm taking you to court." "For what?" "I gave you written notice to remove your property. You chose not to. In this state, that's abandonment. Sue me if you want. I'll see you there with my receipts and your 4 a.m. text saying maybe we shouldn't be together." "That's not what I meant." "That's what you said. Actions have consequences." Then, and this is where it got truly beautiful, a car pulled up. A silver Toyota. Out stepped Melissa, Ariana's running partner. Her best friend of like 7 years. Melissa was holding a Starbucks coffee in one hand and a shopping bag in the other. She saw the crowd, saw the tables, saw me, saw the sign, then she saw Ariana. "Oh, hey Ariana." Ariana's face went from rage red to confused white. Melissa? What are you doing here? I saw the sale in the neighborhood Facebook group. Someone posted about it, figured I'd check it out. You came to buy my stuff? I didn't know it was your stuff until like 5 minutes ago when I saw the comments on the post. She held up her shopping bag. But yeah, I bought some stuff. What did you buy? Melissa pulled out a bracelet. Silver, Tiffany & Co. That's my Tiffany bracelet. My mom gave me that. For how much? I asked Melissa. $40. Nice. $40? Ariana shrieked. That was $600. Then your mom overpaid, Melissa said calmly, sipping her Starbucks. It's silver-plated, not real silver, I checked. It's real silver. Nope, I know jewelry. My sister works at Tiffany's. This is their lowest-end stuff. Still pretty, though. Ariana looked like her entire world was collapsing. You're my best friend. How could you buy my stuff? Melissa's expression changed. Got serious. Ariana, you came home at 4 a.m. with another man's phone number on your hand, refused to explain it to your boyfriend, told him to trust you or leave. He chose leave. Then you abandoned all your stuff at his house. I didn't abandon it. I was going to get it. When? You went for a run this morning instead of reading his email asking you to remove your property. That's abandonment. You're my best friend. I'm also someone who doesn't tolerate cheating. I didn't cheat. Melissa raised an eyebrow. Where were you last night? Really? Ariana's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Nothing came out. Because I was home by midnight, Melissa continued. We left the bar together at 11:45. You said you were going to the bathroom. 20 minutes later, Jessica told me you'd left with some guy from work. The crowd was dead silent. Everyone watching like this was a Netflix drama. That's not? You left with Brandon from accounting, the guy whose number you've been writing on your hand for weeks, the guy you've been fucking for 2 months. Ariana's face confirmed everything. So yeah, Melissa said. I bought your bracelet because you cheated on Alex, and honestly, he handled this really well. You're lucky he didn't post photos of that phone number online. She turned to me. Is that YSL clutch still available? Which one? The red one. Yeah, $50. Deal. Melissa bought another item from her supposed best friend, while Ariana stood there having what looked like a full breakdown. Melissa. What? You're really going to do this? I'm really going to buy cute stuff at discount prices? Yes. I'm really going to support a friend who got cheated on? Also yes. I'm really going to feel bad for you after you fucked around and found out? No. Melissa got back in her car with her shopping bags. Waved at me. Thanks, Alex. These are great. She drove off. Ariana stood in the middle of my driveway, surrounded by strangers with their phones out, having just been publicly exposed by her best friend. I hate all of you, she screamed at no one in particular. By 11 a.m., everything was gone. Every purse, every shoe, every dress, every accessory. I'd made $4,100 total. There were still people asking if I had more stuff. Sorry, that's it, all sold. Do you know when you'll have another sale? Probably never. This was a one-time thing. Ariana was sitting on the curb, crying. Her phone kept buzzing. Probably her friends who'd seen the Facebook posts. I packed up the tables, took down the signs, deposited the $4,100 in my bank account via mobile app. Ariana finally stood up, walked over to me. You're a monster. I'm a guy who got cheated on and decided not to be a doormat about it. I didn't cheat. You came home at 4 a.m. with another man's number and refused to explain why. That's enough for me. I want my stuff back. It's sold. Gone. Receipt says all sales final. I'm gonna make you pay for this. How? You left your property at my house after ending our relationship. I gave you written notice. You ignored it. This is all legal. Might be petty, but it's legal. She got in her car, slammed the door, peeled out of my driveway. My neighbor Bob walked over. That was the most entertaining Saturday morning I've had in years. Glad I could provide entertainment. She really cheated on you? Came home at 4 a.m. with a phone number on her hand and told me to trust her or leave. So I chose leave. Smart man, my wife got a great coat out of it, so thanks. No problem. The rest of Saturday was quiet. Ariana blew up my phone with texts, threats, accusations, sob stories. I blocked her number. Sunday morning, I got a call from an unknown number. Answered it. A man's voice. Is this Alex? Yes? This is Officer Martinez with the police department. I got a call from Ariana about property theft. She says you sold her belongings without permission. I sold abandoned property after giving written notice. I have the email timestamp, her text ending our relationship, and receipts for every sale. Can you send those to me? I sent him the email, the screenshot of her text, and photos of the receipts. 20 minutes later, he called back. Yeah, you're fine. She doesn't have a case. Property was abandoned after relationship termination. You gave notice. She refused to retrieve it. This is civil at best, and even then, she'd lose. Thanks for confirming. Between you and me, my wife bought 3 bags from you yesterday. She's very happy. I laughed, glad to hear it. Have a good day, sir. Monday morning, I got a call from a lawyer. Ariana's lawyer, apparently. Mr. Richardson? This is Thomas Blair. I represent Ariana Chen. She's requesting the return of her property or compensation for its value. The property was abandoned after she ended our relationship. I gave her 24 hours written notice to retrieve it. She chose not to. I disposed of it legally. I have documentation for everything. My client says she didn't end the relationship. You did. Your client said, and I quote, "Maybe we shouldn't be together." I agreed and asked her to leave my house. She left. That's termination. I have texts. My client also says she never received your email. I have proof it was sent and delivered. Whether she chose to read it is irrelevant. Mr. Richardson, let's be reasonable. My client's property was worth approximately $15,000. You sold it for roughly $4,000. You've damaged her financially. Your client stored $15,000 worth of property at someone else's house without paying rent or storage fees for 2 years, then ended the relationship and abandoned it. She damaged herself financially. We're prepared to file a civil suit. File away. I'll see you in court with my documentation. I'll also countersue for 2 years of unpaid rent and storage fees at fair market value. That's roughly $30,000. Looking forward to it. He was quiet for a moment. I'll discuss this with my client. You do that. I never heard from the lawyer again. 3 months later, I ran into Jessica at a coffee shop. Ariana's coworker, the one who bought the purse. Hey Alex. Hey Jessica. How've you been? Good. You? Good. Listen, I wanted to tell you something about that night. What night? The night Ariana came home at 4 a.m. I waited. She wasn't with us. The work girls. She told you she was, but she wasn't. She was with a guy from another department. They've been hooking up for like 2 months. That number on her hand? That was his. She'd washed off the first few times she'd written it down, but she was drunk that night and forgot. Huh? I thought you should know. She was definitely cheating. And she's been telling people you sold her stuff because you were a controlling asshole who wanted to punish her for going out with friends. Sounds about right. For what it's worth, everyone who knows the truth thinks you handled it perfectly. She cheated. She got caught. She faced consequences. That's how it should work. Thanks for telling me. No problem. Also, that purse I bought, still using it. It's amazing. I smiled. Glad it's getting good use. 6 months after the sale, I'm still living in my house. Different furniture in the spare bedroom now. Home gym equipment. No designer bags. No cheating girlfriend. No drama. Best $4,100 I ever made. The leaving my cheater sale is legendary in the neighborhood now. People still bring it up. Mrs. Henderson shows off her shoes at every opportunity. Bob's wife wears that coat constantly. And Ariana? Last I heard, she's dating the guy from her work. The one whose number was on her hand. They moved in together. In an apartment. With a roommate who borrows her stuff. Some things never change. Me? I learned my lesson. Next girlfriend doesn't store anything at my place unless she's paying rent or her name's on the deed. And if she comes home at 4 a.m. with someone else's number on her hand, I'll know exactly what to do. Though I probably won't find $15,000 worth of designer merchandise to sell next time. That was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I took it.